Good afternoon, good evening, me famble. Me na Dr. Mafudia with Well Body na Gently, a production of Well Body Salon. But they bring on today another program, this time on mental health issue then where they affect we young one then. Remember, if you not a follow we do go ahead and subscribe to we YouTube channel and hit the notification so that when we get release new video, then you will know. Also follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And don't forget always for share with video then with your party then with your family then make them self learn information. We go help them maintain well body. So today more we'll talk about mental health issue then within our mental health. Mental health now just way for talk about the thing the way they affect we mind, way they affect we feeling, and way they affect the way we they interact with other people then. So mental health now that part of we well body one way they affect how we they feel, how we they think, and how we they act. Mental health now in they contribute for help we handle stress, for deal with how we rub body with other people there, and how would they make choice there about we help. So that is very important, especially how mental health they help with for make health choices there. So the next time we will talk about waiting then na mental health problem or waiting a mental health disorder. So when it comes to pikin then and young people then, mental health problem now a serious change in the way the pikin they learn, in the way the pikin they behave, or in the way the pikin they deal with emotion them. So now thing where they cause distress. So either the pikin or even the family then the parents then. So something where they affect how the person they live in life, how it they affect work, how it they go to school. Mental health problem now thing that we can be chronic women say that they go on for long many years then the problem they continue for years, but also there can be problem then where they come and go. So you go get episode where this picking or this young person they go through this rough time, and then in between they're in better, then go through again. Usually mental health problem then now you need a mental health specialist, a mental health professional for diagnose what's really na the mental health problem. And they get specific criteria, then specific thing then way that they ask, whether they look for say yes, this na mental health disorder. So you need a mental health professional for diagnose mental health disorder. Now, how common it be for me picking and get serious mental health issue, or how serious it be, mental health problem and a serious thing for young picking them? Well, actually, yes. We then check, ask us all around the world. If you go all around the world, 1 out of 7 picking them between the age of 10 and 19 don't experience serious mental health condition at their life. So if you remember, no more all them boku picking them within at the world. If you count 7, one of them go they we go tell you say they don't experience mental health condition. And half 50% of people then way grown up then we get mental health issue then problem they don't begin from by the time they turn 14. So then they tell you for say mental health problem, then also big people then problem no more. That's in the way can they begin all the way from way people then young. And boku of them, at least half of them problem they don't begin before they turn 14. For we were then at the US, where then they do every few years that they do survey them. Where then survey them teenager then 15% of teenager then don't say they don't get major depression in their life. And then 18% of them teenager then they say they don't seriously think for kill themselves because of their mood. 9% of them teenager then say they don't actually try for kill themselves. And among teenager, they among between the age especially of 15 and 19, suicide now the number 3 reason where they die. So with teenager, then with young people, then they experience some serious issue then where we need for be aware of. We were not parents then, we were not teacher then, you were there among or around young picking them. For the one that within our UK, the number then similar. 10% of picking them don't report symptoms they win a serious mental health condition. And the sad thing is 70% of them picking them they not get the proper treatment, either because they not recognize them or they not taken that serious for get the treatment. And similar to US, then suicide they among the top leading reason why teenager then they commit suicide. So more think about this 70% not get appropriate intervention for the serious mental health problem. Waiting we they do. Waiting are some of them things the way they contribute to mental health problem and young people there. So this not a thing where that they talk about more now, especially among the pediatric people, the way they deal with young picking them. They call an ACEs when it stand for Adverse Childhood Experiences. Waiting that they mean. Now them bad thing the way they way picking them they don't experience when they're young, we go contribute to medical problem then and mental health problem then later in their life. So traumatic experience where they don't experience where they're young, where we don't get good evidence for sure say when they become adults because of them thing and they will be happening to them when they're young, they're more likely for get chronic illness and like diabetes, like heart problem, even cancer. They're more likely for get problem with obesity. And then experiences also they contribute to mental illness when they grow up, and to substance problem for the abuse drug and alcohol when they become adults. So this is not something where anybody where they work with speaking there, anybody where get small picking they need for be mindful of. What's an example of them is here? So then adverse childhood experience then. Now violence, exposure to violence, whether na picking we grow up now wartime, or whether na pikin wey grow up na bad neighborhood who side e dey see first and shoot around, or even violence whether they see na TV, na movie then, wey e not necessarily directly but for expose them to all that violence, whether they see violence now also, then daddy they beat their mama or the mama they beat them daddy, say that they self can be, or other grown up then they fet and then thing then also abuse, whether not physical abuse, whether they physically abuse, they beat them, or they sexually they abuse them, or emotionally, they allow they cause the picking, they talk dumb, boy picking, you know better, I go ever better, then then kind of thing, and they will not say they happen. Or they neglect the picking, not care about her, not be seen about her. You do whatever you get for, do you live your life, me live me life. When a small picking, we need love and attention. Discrimination, and this is not something we unfortunately when a black man then also stranger, to we picking the way they grow up, we don't experience discrimination, it's traumatic for them. So you need to watch out for you picking. Or either they grow up in a family where we say people then get mental health problem then at that family day, or they get substance abuse, they get addiction problem in that family day, whether not the mama or the daddy or somebody, usually somebody way close to them at the family where they're exposed to, where they struggle with mental health problem or they struggle with substance abuse problem. So what's not the common mental health condition then among young people then? So this I just list some of the top one then. Among the top one are what's they call ADHD, when attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. This not picking the way they get young people then where they get problem for they're not able for sit down still. They're not able for focus, then they're not able for pay attention for more than a few minutes at a time. They're constantly they fidget, they move. They now they can't pick now, you're not able for pin on one place and make it focus pan for do anything that they struggle with that day. Now all picking and get, they can be fidgety, but this now one way pass smack. Then the other one, anxiety. Anxiety more than among the older picking then 12 to 17 year old, they see a lot of anxiety. They afraid, thing the way normally, they make other picking them afraid, or maybe even then self where them be younger, think the way they not be afraid, then all of a sudden now they not they begin afraid with dancing and they that are something for concern. They no want for do certain thing the way they do, or way other normal picking that they do, they afraid for do any acting. Then you get what they call behavior disorder. This now more the younger picking then 6 to 11 year. Now the one the way, they say, this one in Tranga is super smack. Not they, you say A, it says Z. You say this, it say that. No matter what you do, they're not they, they know they follow, picking the way they fet. All the time then go school na fet business, then they pound, they bully other picking them, they destroy things then, they really then behavior out of control. They get other one the way they call oppositional defiance and conduct disorder. Then this now them picking the way, Sunday back at on that they say this was, na criminal and they cancel. Especially though when I conduct disorder and I picking the way just, that they do wicked thing, then they're not afraid, they're not get sorry at, that they destroy things, then they're not even they consider, waiting right and waiting wrong. You get some of that then you get depression again among the older one, then the 12 to 17-year-old, then where then sad, maybe then just irritable, then quick for vex, they no one for eat, or they sleep, just they don't know one for do nothing, no one for go school, then just their mood just low. So depression is more common among the 12 to 17-year-old then. So waiting are some of them warning sign there. So for say picking, young person gets a mental health problem, which you for they look for by you picking them, you grand picking them, or other young picking them where you might stay around for noticing the warning sign them. So some of them warning sign then, and at least bokunaya. But picking way is sad, it just sad, and also like one day it's sad because something happened, but say 2 weeks, in the past 2 weeks the mood not they gets better. Now I think that the way for worry, but they avoid activity the way they normally be they do. They know if they be they go lesson, or they go school, or they hang out with party, go na party host. Now they no one for go again, that they avoid for go place, then they avoid for they around other people. Then they're always they afraid, they always they worry so much, so that they interfere with the work where they do na school, they interfere with them school, that they afraid so much they're not able for do them schoolwork, or they're not even able for go na school. They not want for play or interact with other picking them because of just the wandering and the fear. Or they're afraid for do things the way they do before. Now all of a sudden they don't want for do it again. That they get trouble for pay attention, or they're impulsive, like they don't they think, just they jump no more and do things the way it can be dangerous without even think about what they do. They're more hyper than them comping them. Or they just say complain of pain, then this they act me, this they act me, belly they act me, a they act me, join that they act, but they not seem sick, get any rhyme or reason behind all them complain yeah so. Or then quick for vex, then quick for vex and come out in a place and no one for talk to people, then no after where you talk no more, they don't blow up. Or then behavior just out of control, where na harmful behavior, they do things and way out of control, way go to self there, like they ride bicycle rough and just they run go middle streets, they're not even they look whether motorcar they can or motorcar no they can, they jump from dangerous place then, they do things then way dangerous. Or they get trouble for sleep, that they complain of headache there, I don't talk about that day. Then they know they do well in school, no matter how they would try do their homework or whatever, but they're not able for focus, they're not able to do well in school, maybe not picking, maybe they do well, all of a sudden now they fail. Now something that they for worry, but that they try for avoid school, that they miss school, that they lose weight, they know they eat the way that they eat before, either that they eat past mark past how they eat before, on all of a sudden they no one for they eat again. Or that they talk about die boku, that they talk about for kill themselves, or you see them try for kill themselves or try for hurt themselves. Some picking them, they're not necessarily try for kill themselves, but get picking the way they go begin they cut themselves, they cut them body with knife or sharp thing, then they cut them wrist then just for make themselves bleed and whatnot. They can say the pain inside so much that they need for cut themselves for make them distract themselves from that inner pain the way that they get. Or the mood, drastic change in the mood, behavior, or personality in any way. You see any of them sign and you notice that they by you picking, you can picking, or any young person where they around you. Now something that they will for be concerned for say we need for do something, especially pay the drastic change. So waiting for do if you suspect say young picking or young teenager, they get mental health disorder. The number one thing now for talk to other people then. Talk to them paddy then and see if themselves don't notice change. Talk to other family then. People then way close to and we go know in personality and mood. See if other caregiver, other people that were involved in the care, if themselves don't notice and waiting then notice. Talk to them teacher then at school. Waiting then don't see, waiting they don't notice. May if this thing where you they see, now you know more they see or other people that they say they happen now other setting them. Then take that information, they talk to the Peking in doctor and make you tell and waiting you concern but and waiting other people then don't say. Because if picking they get behavior issue, but now us no more they way gonna school everything fine way they with other people then maybe now something they go on now us way they react to. Or the same thing if now school no more way can us everything fine way they with other people everything fine, then maybe now something at school they react to. But if they be in school, they be in us, they be in other people then they notice and then maybe they deal with a mental health condition. So you need to talk to the in doctor about that day if you get doctor. If you not get doctor, you need to find somebody way familiar for treat speaking there. For me, you go talk to them, but how for get help. If you picking in behavior, the change is very serious and they worry say that they go do bad things to themselves, you notice say that they cut themselves or they do things them where they hurt themselves, then you need for seek more emergency care. For we were then outside of salon, they usually each community, each country they get local mental health crisis line then where you can call, and at the end of this I will show some of the number then where we get at least for US and for UK. Or worst case you can call 911. If you're in America, you call emergency ambulance for me then care the person go now the nearest hospital, me then go evaluate, especially if na person with na picking way try for killing himself, either he drink something or he take something or he try for hanging so for anything like that, then you want for call emergency, me then go care and go and evaluate right away. So how we can get treatment for picking that we get mental health problem then. So a different way than the way it can happen. In general, now combination of treatment there. You get therapy, whether they work with psychologists or therapists then, for talk through waiting they go on, waiting they waiting go they cause this, waiting they contribute to this, or how this they affect the picking and the family. Then they can get intervention, then behavioral intervention, and for the one they will get especially behavior problem then for help the picking for the one they get trouble for sit still or where they get trouble for do things and way not safe or way harmful. They get intervention and see the way they could teach them for how for regulate and manage them behavior, and or the parents and for help them for managing behavior, or the teacher then if then at school. And sometimes speaking they need medication for help with their mental health condition. Different professionals then they were involved with this. So you can get psychologists then, you can get mental health counselor then, social worker then, even nurse then, and psychiatrists, and all not different people then we can be part of that mental health team for take care of the picking, depending on which part of the world you do, which one you get available to you different. I know in a salon, they get a mental health clinic for picking then. They get now Kisi Mental Health Hospital. Also now all are doing they get clinic for picking them where get mental health problem, then where they get trained therapists then and psychologists and psychiatrists and nurses then where they help for for take care of them picking and they for diagnose and for treat them. And the treatment can happen at different places. Treatment can happen at school. Some of the treatment, because picking and they spend most of their day in a school. Treatment, and we want for me then go school. We don't want picking it for dinner house because of mental health problem, because then it will just add to the illiteracy and poverty and problem then down the road. So picking the need for go school, especially picking the way get mental health problem, need for go school is very important. So we were then at then earlier. So a lot of them services that they provide in a school also, where they can get therapy in a school. They will get time set aside for them for get therapy and work on some of them behavior. Then they, and you can get also now host where they, they can go now the host and do therapy with the pikine and the family, which very helpful for me then treat the pikine environment. And then also if a serious case, then they go now hospital rather than a specific mental health hospital, if not just for the mental health, or Sunday they need for go na regular hospital if their mental health problem now they cause medical problem them. Now salon we get mental health hospital. Similarly, I don't know if they get some of them support here so now the school system adults, but at least we get mental health clinic, now the children's hospital and at the Kisi mental health hospital where they're able to provide services there for them, for picking them where they go through this. So how we as adults then, as people then we care, we interested, how we can support the mental health of picking them. Very important thing for help give picking them the best chance for be the best adults and we go contribute to the society and not be a problem, later on. We need for all be invested for make sure say we picking them grow, not just physically, but mentally with the support to the mental health. So one of the biggest thing now for make sure say picking them get strong, caring relationship with them. What that they mean for help them, teach them for form healthy relationship then with family them, with paddy them, make them able for spend time regularly together as a family. We as Motaman then, we not family people then. Now so God make we. And we need for teach we picking them how for get them, every person, every Motaman, and especially every picking, need for get somebody where in no say care about her, no matter what thing. And some people they not get mommy, they not get daddy, but they need that somebody, they whether na auntie, uncle, or somebody will adopt them for show for day with them, for care for them, and for teach them how for care and they in a relationship way healthy and caring. The other thing we need for help them with healthy self-esteem, how for think about themselves in a good way. Sometimes in our culture, we too quick for put people then down, and we too quick, especially for no regard picking them feeling, they not care about them feeling them, and then they can make boku picking them they become grown up then way they not feel good about themselves. They don't think say they are anything. So for how for like themselves and be able for accept themselves, for learn for praise picking them for be quick for praise them for waiting that they do well, not just for quick for condemn them for waiting that they do wrong. And for members say, yes, they will do something. They might not do very well or as well as you want, but recognize the effort. If the picking they try, not say, so no more you they do, you not even make them fine. Say, hey, you try, or look, you look where you go this far, so recognize the effort more so than how well you do the thing. Be interested but in their life, ask them question, then talk to them about the thing the way they like, the thing the way they're interested in, how waiting that they think, waiting to go on at their head. Talk to them. But small they tell say picking them, for you foresee them, for your reading, But then also too, picking them, we need for listen to them, we need for talk to them, we need for engage them because I saw them self they learn and help them for set realistic goal then. It not mean say if the pikin say I want for be astronaut, they are older you come on at that village and that wait till they talk about you want be astronaut. So say you go be an astronaut. I don't talk about that. Yeah, maybe you not go be astronaut, but not put and down for say just because you come out from certain way, that means say nothing. But help them say, okay, if not that they want for be, hey, but so how we go help you forget the how about we start for make sure say you do well in school. Make them focus on realistic goal and way they go able for achieve. And who knows what they're going to end up for be tomorrow. I mean, maybe ever no say I go do Saturday night so Not necessarily. And Boku people and they along the way try for tell me for say are not realistic. But me people and they always teach me how for set realistic goal then see the way I will know say I will be able for achieve and they help me make sure say I achieve them. We need for listen and respect speaking them, feeling them. Now something where we especially as African they're not very good at. We not, some people they're not then things say, oh, this nonsense in a nonsense for the talk about picking and feeling them and this and that. And at the end they make the picking and fit and at the end they make this. I not believe say that they necessarily too. Picking then get feeling then just like grown up then get feeling. We grown up then we feeling then also will become grown up will begin get feeling then. Then feeling then maybe don't become from they don't they from all small. So think back but where you be small and how you be they feel and how you feel where people grown up that they ignore you, how you they feel where people they know they listen to you, they know they consider what you get for say. And especially now, this we current society with technology, picking them way smarter than we been be when we small because they get access to way more information, but they need grown up them for listening, respect, and correct them as appropriate. So encourage them for talk about them, feeling them because there's so much way they go on around them where it can be very confusing. They get all this information, now the internet, social media, but then brain them still young and immature. They still not get life experience and it can be very confusing. So we need for encourage them for talk about how they feel so that they go able for process them feeling and go able for guide them and we able for recognize if they begin run into mental health problem then. Keep communication line then open, listen, ask question, pay attention. And if the pikin not comfortable for share, for talk to you, not feel bad about that day, find somebody, think about somebody in their life where they're willing for talk to, where you self go trust, go give them good advice and encourage them for me them talk to that person there. And over time, as you continue for show interest in the picking, they're more likely for down the road for begin for share things then with you. And then they okay also. Help them for find somebody where they're able for talk to. How else we can do create safe positive space, be aware of what you begin the exposed to now, especially media, now TV, waiting that they watch, which channel then they watch, 6 year old not for they watch grown up adults channel there. Then movie then, when they watch movie, whether a Nigerian movie, Ghanaian movie, whatever, American movie, be mindful, now they say they get rating them for them, movie then for say whether it appropriate for which age. Be mindful waiting the picking that they watch, small picking or they watch thing where rated are where be say they show lots of violence, bad word then and things then way not appropriate for them for watch. The internet, I know say this na thing wey boku adults and they struggle with because boku barely know how to use them phone, let alone for navigate all the internet and social media. So them picking them they don't learn from small. They know the internet pass they grown up there. Me 6 year old, you know how for switch the screen then where you ask wait till you they watch quick, it don't screen. Oh nothing. It don't switch. Then Sabi and you're only 6 years old. Even me 3 year old probably know how to use my phone better than me know how to use that. But we need for keep up and be mindful and hey, what I say, you're not allowed for use the laptop. Because if I not say you they go behind me back and you're able for editing then way I not go see and then I not gonna allow you for use the laptop. Unless I sit on the me and you they watch, yai to yai. Even the one they then video game there. I don't know if Boku grown up there, no, so then video game yeah, so they can chat and talk to other people there because they're connected to the internet and they can get channel the way they can see things on the internet, even on a video game that they're supposed for the play. Now for understand and know what thing they go on with you picking them, what thing then they do. Know who that then they talk to, know that they interact to on social media, on then gaming device there. Some of them not very appropriate, some of them are grown up, then they pretend for be picking them where they try for engage you picking for pulling into bad things then where they're not supposed for they do. But who picking them don't get into trouble, picking them they get abducted, picking them they get, into all kinds of dangerous things them because of other than that they interact with on social media. And also, some of the interaction in our social media is not good for their self-esteem. They can get people that they bully them on social media. They talk bad, they expose them to things that were not appropriate, where go affect their mental health. So you need for know what they. Be careful. be careful and wey you dey talk about your problem there or family problem around pikin dem, because some of them things in the way that they hear it go make the pikin dem begin dey wondering, and e no good for them. So be mindful, not mean say you get for keep secrets and necessary from your pikin dem, but just be mindful of their age and wetin fit for make dem hear and wetin they no need for no. um Take time for just get fun with engage in activity, play, make them see you they take care of your mental health, make them see you self they do the things then where you they try for help them for do. Because it's them picking and too smart for me will say, oh, do as I say, don't do as I do, then they know the work, right? We need for also model waiting with they try for tell them for make them do. And if they see we they take care of our mental health, it easier for me themselves make the mental health a priority. Be role model, be honest what you feel in it. If you just struggle with mental health, it should be honest about that day and help them and help yourself for get the help where when I need. Make time for get fun now your life. I know say that advice and the way even me need for take for make more time for get fun. Life serious, but yet still we need for play. And one of the most important thing that we can do for picking them now for encourage them for make them play, make them enjoy the fun of life with them young. And by fun, I not say go do bad thing there, like clean, honest fun, and teach them how for solve problem there. Teach them how for relax if they're upset. Sunday now for do relaxation exercise. Then for take quiet time. Go calm yourself. Maybe go for a walk. Do some listen to music. Whatever it is where you day in a bad mood, where you go do for get yourself in a right frame of mind. Teach them some of them thing and they if they do go through difficult situation, not just take over and go solve them problem for them, but help them for talk through what's a possible solution, how we go deal with this problem, how you go do this the next time so that this bad thing not go happen. Help them for come up with solution for themselves. Also, we know more for the give and the answer. Because when you become grown up, people are not they just go give the answer. And grown up then when they get trouble, now work or with school and whatnot, because they're not being learned for solve problem them from where they're small. Yes, there are things you'll get for do for picking them, but there are things we need for teach them for make them do for themselves. So encourage them for make them develop idea then how for improve their situation. And then the last partner, safe community. We all now one big family. We live in a global village. We need for be engaged for make sure say we community then safe for we young people. And whether not the community where they live in, will come with town, your village, country where they live in. We all need for do we part for create safe community. Then we're not for the advocates for violence, because then they destabilize the country or the town or the village for everybody, including we picking them, right? We need for try for keep we picking away from things away harmful, from violence and abuse and drugs and things like that. And then practice even with cultural practice then we're not really helpful and we can be harmful to we picking them. Just because we people then before the old time people then be done they do it this way, that means say we for continue for doing. No, we need for stop and think, whose benefits were they for continuing this practice. If benefits not they for continue that practice day, then we need for stop and not for force to picking them for go through things. And just because when me do they do that day to me when I small, so you self for go through that day. We need for let's go of some of their idea then they, and we need for learn good parenting technique. Nobody know to perfect parents, nobody auto perfect parents because no picking all the way they can with the instruction manual on how for reason. Every picking different. Even the two picking and at the same family then will be different in their temperaments, and the way where you go deal with one will be different the way you get for deal with the other one. So we all need help. We need for talk to picking people away same for they do our rights and learn from them. And plus we own natural instinct. And sometimes then we need for go to professional then for for get advice on how best for deal with who picking them, because something and the way now normal picking behavior we might not understand, we think it's a problem. but you know, need for talk to other people. They're like, well, I can talk to other people and but me picking, hey, me picking this, then they say, oh yeah, me picking, so oh, I say, oh, okay, good. I'll be facing over me picking a problem, but now I know so other people inside they picking and they do the same thing. Now I know say me auto problem me picking gets not just the normal behavior. I just need for figure out how me go deal with that. So I go ask, well, what you picking be they do down there, how you being managed down there, and how you be managed down there. Mass, maybe I go try this, maybe I go try down there. But we all need for learn good parenting techniques then for support to picking them. So very important number then for no, the National Suicide Prevention Line at the US, they get a new number where they make them very simple now 988. So 911 now for medical emergency in America. 988 you can either call or you can text if somebody suicidal, if they think about for killing self, if they talk about for killing self, or if you're not the person, you can call or text 988 for may you get emergency help. They also get a website where you can go on and chat with somebody if you they think suicidal. Because the young people they prefer for do the instead of talk to people and something they can prefer for go on the computer. So they get on there also. If you now the US and you get a young person or even an adult who get mental health problem, but you don't know who side for good for help, they get this website, findtreatment.samhsa.gov. You can put your zip code inside you there and it will give you a list of mental health resources there of side and where the person can go for get evaluation, for get treatment for mental health condition. Now, the UK also, they get a suicide prevention helpline when at the 0800-689-5652. They also get a crisis text line where you can text the word shout, SHOUT, to 85258 for get access to crisis. And they get different websites there. I put just a couple the way I found online for where they provide emotional and mental support to young people that are under the age of 25. Then get this one called themix.org.uk. Then another one when familylives.org.uk, when they provide support to family. They're on different things, counseling and other kinds of help for family that way they go through mental health. So then I just some resources then where I want for share with Una. I hope say somebody go find that helpful. And again, this is Dr. Mafudia with Well Body Agency, a production of Well Body Salon. Follow we on Facebook, like we, follow we, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Put the notification there on so you will know when we they release new video then. Remember say this life now one in two no day, Well Body, 9 Agency.